This is Titans football with head coach Nick Hart on 89.1 The Bash. Our weekly chat with the Gibson Southern Titan head football coach is brought to you by these underwriting sponsors: A&B Contracting, A&T Concrete Supply, AgriGold, Best One Tire, Gerald and Trudy Bledsoe, Carts Gone Wild, Consolidated Grain and Barge, Cox Family Eye Care, Deaconess Women's Hospital, DuBois County Garage Doors Incorporated, Freudenberg Mini Mart, Hobstadt Summerfest Incorporated, in memory of Darwin and Eric Kalis, Jackson Seed Service, JL Farm Equipment, Kiesel Enterprises, Kissel Farms, Lewis Plumbing and Heating, Lowry Company, Marshall Disposal, Mayflower Gardens and Gifts, MyTech Systems, Pole Concrete Construction, Princeton Auto Park, Reinbrecht Homes, Rusty Reeves FC Tucker MG Realtors, Sandy's Pizza, Shoe Carnival, South Gibson Grain, T. Konya Distributing, 10 Barge Seed and Turfgrass Supplies, Total Seed Solutions, United Fidelity Bank, Vertical Tile, and by Ziliak Enterprises. Titans football with head coach Nick Hart starts now on 89.1 The Bash.
Welcome to Titans football with head coach Nick Hart. I am Bob Bowser, and joining me is head coach Nick Hart. And coach, your Titans are now 3-0 overall and in Pocket Athletic Conference play after defeating North Posey this past Friday night. So let's take a look at the scoring plays and some of the team and individual stats from the ball game. Starting off here in the first quarter with 10:55 remaining in that quarter, Dylan Stefanich runs it in from 1 yard out. The point after kick by Chandler McKee is good. Titans on top 7-0. Then in the first quarter with 5:30 remaining, Isaac Sellers completes a pass to Wes Obermeyer for 15 yards. Chandler McKee extra point kick is good. 14-0, Titans on top. Then with 3:49 remaining in the first quarter, an interception by Andrew Smith returned for touchdown. Chandler McKee extra point is good. Titans on top after 1 quarter of play, 21-0. The lone score in the second quarter, 5:12 remaining before halftime, Isaac Sellers completes a pass to Dylan Stefanich for 54 yards. Chandler McKee extra point kick is good. 28-0, the Titans lead at halftime. Then in the third quarter with 5:24 remaining, Isaac Sellers completed a pass to Wes Obermeyer for 6 yards. The point after kick by Chandler McKee is good. Titans lead after 3 quarters of play, 35-0. Then in the fourth quarter to start it out, Chandler McKee ran it in from 13 yards out. The point after kick by Chandler McKee is good. 42-0, Titans on top. And then North Posey with 4:45 remaining in the ballgame, Dalton Rankin runs it in from 14 yards out. The point after kick by Carter Martin is good. And that brings us to the final score, 42-7. Your Titans defeat North Posey to move now to 3-0.
You know, it's always great to be 3-0, and especially in conference play. Very proud of our effort on Friday night, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I thought we took some huge steps forward on that side of the ball, and we definitely have plenty of room to grow. But like we said, 3-0. You can't be any better than 3-0 right now where we are.
All right, so let's take a look here at some of the team statistics. First of all, total offense, North Posey had 242 yards of offense compared to 466 for your Titans. Passing-wise, 134 yards for North Posey, 255 for the Titans. Rushing yards, 108 for North Posey, 211 for the Titans. And then looking at penalties, and here's a big one, 6 for 40 yards on North Posey, 11 penalties for 80 yards for the Gibson Southern Titans.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a point of emphasis this week, because a lot of those, we had a few holding calls that, and I thought the officials did a great job on Friday, but, we had a few holding calls that were tough calls. I know why they called them, but they were tough calls that we'll live with. But the amount of false starts that we had, and again, have a short-term memory, but it seems like we had more false starts than what we've had, in entire seasons in one ball game there. And it's just, we weren't going on hard counts when we jumped or anything. It was really inexcusable. And, a stat you didn't talk about, I think we were 2 of 16 on third down, or 2 of 14, something like that. And we had many missed red zone opportunities. Well, two things that we take really big pride in on our offense is our third down conversions and our red zone, conversion rate. We spend a lot of time in practice working on those two things, and both of those were really bad. And it was due to the fact that we had penalties that backed us up. You're not going to convert 3rd and goal from the 25 very often. So, we put ourselves in bad positions to convert in two areas that we take a lot of pride in converting in, and against really good teams, that's going to get us beat. So it's something that we'll spend a lot of time on this week, making sure that we have corrected before Saturday's ball game.
Well, and just for clarification, 3 for 14 on those third downs, which you stole the idea right out of my head where I was going to head to next. Had a great media question for you, but you stole it because it did affect exactly how the ball club either put the ball in the end zone or kept drives moving.
Absolutely. And, if you look at it, if you take away the penalties, if you look at the total yards, 466 yards of offense is a great day at the office. We'll take that every single game, especially against a very stout defense like North Posey had. I thought our offensive execution minus the penalties was phenomenal, but the penalties kept us from getting in the end zone. That's the ultimate, goal. The way our defense set us up with some short fields and even got, one pick six. We should have capitalized a lot more on those opportunities than what we did, and it's something to learn and grow from. And I think one thing, if you look at the whole team, I thought our offense played phenomenal and executed very well against South Spencer. Our defense did not. This week it was flipped on it, flipped in reverse. So we got to find a way as a team to put together a whole ball game. I think if we can get that done and execute on both sides of the ball for 48 minutes, we got a chance to be pretty good. But so far we haven't put together that complete game yet.
Well, and speaking of the defense and how well they played, here's the biggest stat probably of all night, and it really goes to show how the score ends up being 42-7. I mean, yes, the offense had to put the ball in the end zone, but there were 5 turnovers. Set your offense up on the short field the entire first half, but 5 turnovers for North Posey, 0 for the Titans.
And, I think that's one thing, knock on wood, that our offense has done really well of this year. We have 0 turnovers through 3 games, which is pretty remarkable. But, defensively, I thought our secondary obviously played phenomenal with the 5 interceptions. But I think a lot of that credit goes to our defensive line, our front 7, for that matter, because North Posey, make no bones about it, wants to be a running football team. And we came in early and shut the run down, forced them into some 3rd and longs where our D-line could pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. And we could play some more coverage-oriented coverages on the back end. So, I don't want to take anything away from the plays our DBs made, but credit to our front 7 because they helped put those guys in position to make those plays.
All right, so let's take a look now at some of the individual statistics. Passing for the Titans, Isaac Sellers was 19 for 28, 255 yards, 3 touchdowns, and probably the most important stat, 0 interceptions. Obviously, we just mentioned 0 turnovers, so that would also go along with the fact that he had 0 interceptions, but a really good night. I mean, that's not Nintendo-esque type of things. It wasn't 25 for 28, but 19 for 28 against a very good defense is a good night. I think you'll take that every time.
Every single time. They played us with a lot of man-to-man, so especially 19-28 is good, but especially the way we were pushing the ball down the field, that 19-28 is really, really good. And they blitzed us a lot. I thought the offensive line did a great job of giving him time to get rid of the football, and then our receivers did a great job of getting open.
All right, let's take a look at the rushers for the Titans on Friday night. Dylan Stefanich had 19 carries for 96 yards, 1 touchdown. Chandler McKee had 4 carries for 42 yards and a touchdown. Isaac Sellers had 9 carries for 32 yards. Ben Butler, the freshman, comes in, 4 carries for 27 yards. Mitchell Spindler, another freshman into the ball game, had 4 carries for 10 yards. Seth DeLong, freshman quarterback, had 1 carry for 4 yards. So Dylan Stefanich getting right back on track here in game number 3.
Yeah, he ran the ball really well because and again, I thought our offensive line did a great job, and we made a nice halftime adjustment, our offensive staff, of getting a play set up where we could get to the outside a little bit more because they were really focused on taking away the inside running game. And so we did a great. It was a play we have in the playbook, but we hadn't practiced all week. We didn't think we were going to have it. So credit our kids, being able to come out and execute something that we hadn't practiced all week because it wasn't really in the game plan. And I thought that really helped open up our running game in the second half. But Dylan did a great job all night of. Even when there wasn't a ton there, because they were a very stout run defense. There weren't many negative plays. He was always getting us 3-4 yards. Whenever we were running the football against their very good run defense.
All right, so let's take a look at the receiving yards on Friday night. Dawson Witt had 3 receptions for 75 yards. Chandler McKee had 7 receptions for 58 yards. Dylan Stefanich had 1 reception for 54 yards and a touchdown. Wes Obermeyer had 4 receptions for 51 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Nick Maurer had 4 receptions for 17 yards. So, again, 5 guys catching the football and big yardage coming with that.
Yeah, big yardage, and, that's what you're going to get when you get some man-to-man. It's going to allow you to push the ball down the field a little bit. But, our receivers did a great job of getting open, doing those things. Now, unfortunately, they're not going to have a very fun week because they were a lot of the culprits of the offsides penalties. But they are playing.
Not to throw anybody under the bus.
No, I'll throw them under the bus for that. No, they're doing a great job in receiving stuff. We just got to clean up some of the false starts. But I thought other than that, they had a phenomenal game.
All right, so let's take a look now on the defensive side, which, again, the defense, an A-plus effort on Friday night against North Posey. Devin Mills leading the way with 11 tackles, 9 solo, 2 assists, 6 tackles for loss. Trace Matzel had an awesome night. Normally, he would be leading the team on a night like this, but, Devin Mills just threw in an even better game. So Trace Matzel had 9 tackles, 8 solo, 1 assist, and 3 tackles for loss. Tyler Gady had 6 solo tackles. Cooper Willis was in on 6 tackles. He had 3 solo, 3 assists, and a tackle for loss. And then Landon Meyer had 6 tackles, 3 solo, and 3 assists. And again, just listing the top 5 names there. And probably, for me, the biggest defensive play of the night. I mean, Mills was everywhere. But Caleb Stiesel, he absolutely swallowed up whole the running back. About 5, I think he almost got the handoff and could have scored.
Yeah, that was a great play by Caleb. And, Devin was disruptive all night, 6 tackles for a loss in one game. Is almost unheard of. And I think if you take away, again, I thought we had like 4 breakdowns on defense, 2 in the running game, 2 in the passing game. If you take away those 4 plays, our defense played about as well as you possibly can. And the things we messed up on are things we should be cleaning up in week 3. I really thought we did a great job the entire night. We're really starting to understand as a defense. And I think when you have a young defense like we do, it's one of the hardest things to understand is I might not make the play, but I can cause the play. And I thought we had a lot of guys on Friday night cause plays so other guys could make plays. And that's how team defense is supposed to work, because then the next time the other guy's going to cause the play and you can make the play. And I thought we played so well as playing team defense. And that was something we were missing, the week before. And very proud of the way those guys improved in 1 week. And, hopefully we can continue to improve and show that improvement throughout the year.
All right, so let's take a quick break here. When we come back, we will get your overall thoughts from Game 3 concerning the offense, defense, and special teams. But right now, we need to thank some of the underwriters of Titans football with head coach Nick Hart on 89.1 The Bash.
You're listening to Titans football with head coach Nick Hart on 89.1 The Bash. Tonight's show is brought to you by the following underwriting sponsors: A&B Contracting, Best One Tire, Gerald and Trudy Bledsoe, Cox Family Eye Care, Freudenberg Mini Mart, Jackson Seed Service, Kissel Farms, Marshall Disposal, Pole Concrete Construction, Sandy's Pizza, T. Konya Distributing, United Fidelity Bank, and by Vertical Tile. Are you interested in learning how modern firearms are made and operated? Then the gunsmithing program at Wabash Valley College could be your silver bullet. Learn the basic knowledge and skills of gun repair and custom manufacturing. In our spacious lab, you'll build 3 modern firearms, a Model 1911 pistol, an AR-15 rifle, and a bolt-action rifle. Career opportunities include top manufacturers, law enforcement agencies, and more. The shooting industry is booming. Contact WVC to learn more at 618-262-8641 or visit www.iecc.edu/WVC.
Thank you for tuning in to 89.1 The Bash for Titans football with head coach Nick Hart. All right, Coach, let's start with your thoughts of the offense from week 3 against North Posey. As I'm seeing it, really against North Posey, the defense for South Spencer the week before, run defense was very solid. I mean, they were tough with those inside the tackles. But then this week, it seemed like this North Posey ball club was able to run side to side and make your ball club have to execute very well. Little struggle with that, but at the same time, it provides you an excellent practice week, I'm certain.
Absolutely, and I think one of the things about our offense and with the balance of having a running quarterback and we're able to throw the ball well, and we want to make you run sideline to sideline. When teams play us man to man, that cuts down a little bit of us making you be able to run sideline to sideline. Some of the bubble screens, some of those type of things go out the window because you're covered up. So that part of our game got taken out a little bit. But it's a little bit of pick your poison. So what happens when teams play us man to man? Now we can, we get one-on-one matchups across the field, and we're able to, attack you in the passing game, which is really kind of what happened on Friday night. So I was very impressed because I think North Posey's defense very, very good. Thought it coming into the game. I was even more impressed with them in person than I was on film, and I was already very impressed with them. So hats off to them because I thought their defense is very, very stout. But I was still very happy with the way we were able to move the football. As we alluded to, we got to clean things up on our end because, penalties are okay. And I know you don't hear a coach say that very often.
They're going to happen.
They're going to happen, especially if you're playing hard and you're playing against a good team. You're going to hold every once in a while. If you're competing and you're fighting your butt off, penalties are okay. The mental penalties and the unforced penalties, false starts, those type of things. Fortunately, we didn't have any of these unsportsmanlike conducts or personal fouls, false starts. All those are unforced. Those are the ones that you have to eliminate, and we just had too many of those. And I think sometimes even, we had one. We had a guard false start. A guy was blitzing, and he just got a little antsy. He saw the guy blitzing. He wanted to step down and pick up the blitz. Even that, we got to clean that up, but I understand that. We'll live with that. There was just too many unforced of those false starts and those type of things that, and that's the old adage, you can't beat yourselves. And we put ourselves in a position to where we jumped on them early and we started making some of those mistakes. You let teams hang around, okay, and you're going to end up finding a way to get yourself beat. And I thought we let them, with some of the turnovers and stuff we were able to force, I thought we let them, by some of our mistakes, we let them hang around longer than what we should have given the circumstances.
Well, far be it from me to be critical of the offense. I mean, they did only put up 466 yards. I mean, that's a lot of offense for many teams throughout the area. So they played well. I would probably say, and I don't know what your grading system is, I'm saying probably a B+ because they do have some things they need to clean up, but still very good on offense, putting up 42 points, 466 yards. You can't beat that.
Well, if you're giving a B+, you're grading on a curve, I think.
I'm trying to be nice here. I'm the radio guy.
But no, there are a lot of good things to take away, and the yardage is great. But with some of the short fields that we got and some of the opportunities that we had, we felt like we should have came away with a lot more points. And that yards are great, but the ultimate goal of football is to put the ball in the end zone or even through the uprights if you have to unfortunately kick a field goal. But it's to end with points. And there was too many times we got in the red zone and we didn't get points. And it's something that we've been very, very good at over the years. So there was a lot of great things to take away. I thought our offensive line play was phenomenal. I thought our passing game, was really good, and I thought we ran the ball against a stout defense. But again, we just put ourselves in some bad situations behind the sticks, and bad things are always going to happen whenever you get put behind the sticks like that.
All right, so now let's go to a side of the football where I feel pretty comfortable not grading on a curve that they come up with an A+, and that's the defense. I mean, 5 turnovers and just the way that they played the entire night. There was a period of time that North Posey didn't even get into your territory.
Yeah, and, several 3-and-outs early in the game, mixed in with those interceptions. I'm very, very proud of the way our defense played. And again, as a coach, no game's ever perfect. And like I said, we had like 2 breakdowns in the running game, 2 in the passing game. That we want to get fixed, and we got to get fixed moving forward. But looking at the overall body of work, I'm very, very happy with the way we played on that side of the football. It was very clean football. Thought we were physical. And like I said, we played team defense, and that's the way you got to play defense. You can't play 11 guys out there as individuals trying to make plays. Sometimes I got to cause the play. You can make the play, and after that, then that guy will cause the play, and I can make the play.
And, of course, then let's look at the third and final phase, the special teams. Hey, you know what? I didn't jinx it this week, so you can get off my back. An excellent job there by the special teams. The punting game was fantastic. The extra points were fantastic. Kickoff, I mean, what can you say? The special teams did their job and did it well.
Yeah, well, you just use a cuss word on the radio. I don't know if you're allowed to use a punt. That's a really bad word where we come from. But no, I thought our entire special teams was great. We don't like to punt, but when we punted, our protection was great. Coverage was great. Chandler kicked the ball well, made all of our extra points, had some nice returns in the punt return game. And then, our kickoff coverage was phenomenal the entire night. And that's, we talked about that after week 1. The special teams is a place where we spend a lot of time. And because we are 2 platoon and can split practice offense defense, it allows us to spend a lot of time on special teams. And we spend a lot of time on it, take a lot of pride in it. And, I was really proud of the way those guys played on Friday.
All right, well, Coach, we need to thank some of the underwriters of Titans football with head coach Nick Hart. And when we come back, we will take a look around the Pocket Athletic Conference to wrap up Week 3 and get prepared for Week 4. As you are listening to 89.1 The Bash and Titans football with head coach Nick Hart.
You're listening to Titans football with head coach Nick Hart on 89.1 The Bash. Brought to you by these underwriting sponsors: A&T Concrete Supply, Carts Gone Wild, Daylight Farm Supply, Deaconess Women's Hospital, Hobstadt Summerfest Incorporated, JL Farm Equipment, Lewis Plumbing and Heating, Mayflower Gardens and Gifts, Princeton Auto Park, Shoe Carnival, 10 Barge Seed and Turfgrass Supplies, and by Ziliak Enterprises.
Is your passion sports, healthcare, agriculture, food, people, coffee? Well, just what do all these have in common? Well, how about sales, accounting, economics, management, marketing, customer service, and a whole lot more? With such a wide range of opportunities and interests, there's a career for everyone. Real-world discussions and a relaxed atmosphere of student-instructor interaction is your path to success with the Marketing Business Management degree at Wabash Valley College. For more information, contact WVC today at 618-262-8641 or visit iecc.edu/WVC.
Welcome back to Titans football with head coach Nick Hart on 89.1 The Bash. I am Bob Bowser, and joining me is head coach of the Titans, Nick Hart. All right, Coach, let's talk a little bit about the Pocket Athletic Conference from week number 3, an entire conference slate here this week. Gibson Southern Titans defeat North Posey 42-7. We've already discussed that game in detail. Heritage Hills 56, Pike Central 15. The offense comes alive for Heritage Hills. You've talked about the defense, but the offense comes alive.
And you knew it would at some point. They're very well coached, and they have a lot of tradition and good athletes and stuff. You knew it was going to get there, and just took a little time. But you knew that that coaching staff would get the offense rolling in the right direction.
Well, and then South Spencer defeats Tell City 43-0, a ball club we saw in week 2. We could see the talent's there, lack of depth, but the talent is there. And boy, oh boy, 43-0, they put it on Tell City.
And as they get all their guys back, which they had against us and then obviously had this week, as they get all those guys back, and those guys were missing with baseball and stuff, and they figure out how to best use everybody and get everybody going in the right direction, I think they're going to continue to be tougher and tougher to beat as the season goes on.
And the final game in week number 3 in the PAC, Southridge defeats Forest Park 48-14. So Southridge still rolling here in the early season.
Yeah, you look at it, you got us, Southridge, and Heritage Hills all undefeated right now in the conference. And it looks like Southridge, they beat Corydon Central and beat Jasper, which is a big win, and rolled last week. So, they seem to really have things rolling.
Well, and taking a look there at the standings, your Gibson Southern Titans on top, 3-0 in conference play, 3-0 overall. Heritage Hills is 2-0 in conference play, 3-0 overall. Southridge is 1-0 in conference play, undefeated, 3-0 overall. Then North Posey is 1-1 in conference play, 2-1 overall, as their only defeat now has come to the hands of the Titans. South Spencer is 1-2 in the conference and 1-2 overall. Pike Central is 0-1 in the conference, 1-2 overall. Forest Park is 0-2 in the conference, 1-2 overall. Tell City is 0-2 in the conference and 1-2 overall. But here's a big key. At the top, you got everybody at 3-0. You got 3 teams at 3-0. Then at the bottom, you've got 4 teams, 1-2 overall. Everybody in the conference has a win.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you can always say that this time of year.
There's some conferences I've been around. You could, at the end of the season, you can't say that.
Right. And I think the conference this year, top to bottom, 1 through 8, is a lot closer than it has been in years past. And you're going to have to bring it every single week, no matter who you're playing, in order to earn that conference win.
All right, so let's take a look now to week number 4, a slate of 4 games on Friday night within the Pocket Athletic Conference. Forest Park will be at Tecumseh, or is it Tecumseh?
Good question.
Half a dozen one, 6 the other, right? So, hey, go Forest Park.
Yeah, absolutely. Conference team stepping out, and they got a big non-conference win a couple weeks ago, and so hopefully they can come out and do the same this week.
Well, here's another big one here. Heritage Hills at Jasper on Friday night. Opportunity for the PAC to go 2-0 against the big dog around here from the Big 8, Jasper.
Yeah, and again, go PAC, but that's a big-time rivalry, and both teams really pride themselves on defense. I bet that'd be a really fun game to go watch as a fan. As our Titan fans are looking for some place to go, that'd be a good game to go watch because it's 2 great programs that are very well coached.
And, of course, Owensboro Catholic is at South Spencer. I think that's going to be a dandy of a ball game.
Yeah, and it usually is. It's a big rivalry game because they're right across the river from each other. And, I think South Spencer, like we talked about, talking about their game last week, they're going to get better and better and better and tougher to beat as the year goes on.
Well, and then the final game on Friday night will be Pike Central at Tell City. One of those 2 ball clubs is going to get their second victory of the year.
Yeah, you look at it, it's two of maybe the most improved clubs in the conference, and you look at that one, and somebody's going to kind of get themselves in the mix with the win there, and really kind of close the gap with the top part of the conference.
And of course, then there's a couple games from the PAC on Saturday. And both of those are coming in the Interstate 69 Bowl up at Lucas Oil Stadium, and we're going to talk more about that here after a bit. But you've got, of course, your Titans will be hosting Henderson County, and that'll be a focal point for us here shortly. But also Southridge will take on North Posey following the Titans ball game. So the PAC playing up on the turf at Lucas Oil on Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be a really cool experience. I know we'll talk more about it on our end, but I think that Southridge North Posey game has, both teams like to run the football and are very stout against the run. So I think that'll be a fun game to watch and see how that one shakes out.
All right, Coach, one more segment to go here, which means it is time to get the listeners ready for Saturday afternoon, the I-69 Bowl at Lucas Oil Stadium against Henderson County. But first, let's thank some of the underwriters of Titans football with head coach Nick Hart on 89.1 The Bash.
You're listening to Titans football with head coach Nick Hart on 89.1 The Bash. Tonight's show is brought to you by the following underwriting sponsors: AgriGold, Consolidated Grain and Barge, DuBois County Garage Doors Incorporated, in memory of Eric and Darwin Kalis, Kiesel Enterprises, Lowry Company, MyTech Systems, Rangbrecht Homes, Rusty Rivas FC Tucker MG Realtors, South Gibson Grain, and by Total Seed Solutions. You love sports. You're your team's ultimate fan. Why not turn that passion into the ultimate career? Enroll now in the brand new Sports Marketing and Media program at Wabash Valley College. Learn how to use digital video and other media to add to the fan experience, how to engage fans on social media, and how to create excitement by hosting events and promotions. Get off the sidelines and into the game. Find out more about the WVC Sports Marketing and Media program online at www.iecc.edu or by phone at 618-262-8641. Fall classes begin August 18th.
Welcome back to Titans football with head coach Nick Hart, right here on 89.1 The Bash, or you may be using the free app to access the show on your cell phone. So, Coach, week number 4, it's the Colonels of Henderson County on Saturday at 3:15 p.m. our time from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. And we will have all the action live on 89.1 The Bash with pregame at approximately 3 p.m. Henderson County comes into this contest 0-3 as they have losses to Wrights 42-7, Memorial 54-7, Christian County 41-7. And they're going to take on your number 1 ranked Gibson Southern Titans. What do you expect to see from Henderson County on offense?
Well, and I think before we go offense, one thing to, you look at that and it might be a little deceiving because, Wrights is obviously a very good ball club, and so is Memorial. And, I don't know anything about Christian County, Kentucky, but just watch them on film. They're one of the fastest teams I've ever seen on tape. So, they've kind of gone through a murderer's row type of schedule here to start out, and they're a really young ball club. So I think that makes it tough when you step right into the fire there early in the season, and really with Christian County jumped on them early, but Wrights and Memorial, those games were a lot closer in the early going as the final score might indicate. But looking at them offensively, they do a lot, just formation wise. Shifts, motions, they run every formation under the sun, and there's a way that they shift their motion into it. So, the dry erase board was filled at the coaches meeting this week, figuring out how we need to get lined up against everything. And, they'll run stuff out of the shotgun under center. The quarterback, Skip Patterson, started against us last year when he was a freshman. He's now a sophomore. Tremendous runner. He's a kid that's like 5'11", 205 and runs really, really well. So he's definitely a dual threat type of guy. They got a big receiver that they like to get the ball to, and he's a tremendous athlete. And, it's just we got to make sure with our young defense that we're very sound with all their motions and shifts and everything to make sure, number one, we've got all their receivers accounted for. And number two, that we're lined up correctly and not giving, we don't get outnumbered to one side or the other. And, we'll be spending a lot of time this week in practice making sure that we are very, as sound as we can be against all the motions and formations and shifts and everything that they do.
All right, so now let's go to the other side of the football. What do you expect to see from them defensively to try and slow down your ball club?
I think when you look at them defensively, they've given up a lot of points, but they played teams really tough, and then they've kind of gotten some tough positions with their offense, turning it over, their special teams having miscues or giving up kick returns or punt returns. So you look at their defense. They were 0-0 with Memorial at the end of the first quarter. It's 14-0 with just a little bit left to go in the half, and had a couple miscues, and Memorial ended up at 28-0 at half. But on defense, they're a 3-4 team. Always going to bring one of those outside linebackers, and they play a lot of cover 3, and they're very sound in what they do. They don't blitz a lot because when they bring that outside linebacker and make him the fourth guy, that's not a blitz to us when you bring 4, even though it's a linebacker coming. But they don't blitz those inside guys a lot. They play a lot of cover 3. Very sound. You're not going to get them out formation, or not. They're not going to run out of their gaps. They're very sound, and they fly the football, and they got I think their free safety is very good, and they got a linebacker, Duckworth, that really flies around on the inside and makes a lot of plays. So, our offense is going to have our hands full with them because they really do play good football on defense.
All right, so let's now go to the third and final phase, the special teams, and what have you seen out of their kicking and punting and extra point games?
The extra point game is very sound. Kicker's really good. He'll kick it to about the 5 or the 10 on kickoffs. Punting, they do a rugby style punt where the guy rolls out, and if he has if he thinks he can get the first down, he's going to run forward. If not, he's going to kick that low squib line drive type of rugby punt. So their return guys are very dangerous. They've came very, very close to popping a couple. So even though our kickoff team was very good last Friday, it's going to be a big point of emphasis on Saturday to make sure we maintain our lanes and have lane integrity when we go down to cover kicks.
All right. Well, Coach, anything else you would like to add to the show this week?
I just think, starting off with our young guys, 7th and 8th grade beat Wood Memorial last week. Our freshman team defeated Mount Carmel, and JV team, since we spoke last, won 2 games. They won last Monday night against South Spencer, and then this past Saturday against North Posey. So we're really excited for Saturday. This is going to be a really great experience for our kids to get to play in an NFL stadium. We're just really fortunate because it's not an opportunity that a lot of kids get, and I think it'll be great for our community too to see the hometown team playing up in an NFL stadium. So we've got to it's going to be great memories, but we've got to block that out and play football on Saturday, and we're going to try and get up there early and let the kids walk around and stuff to try and get the stars out of the eyes a little bit, so when it comes time to kick off, we're ready to play football.
Well, and just so folks know, on Saturday it'll be the Interstate 69 Bowl at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 12:30 p.m. our time. Linton-Stockton will take on North Vermilion. And then at 3:15 our time, that's the big game of the night as far as I'm concerned. It'll be Henderson County taking on the Gibson Southern Titans. And then following that ball game at 6 p.m. our time, Southridge versus North Posey in a PAC conference matchup. So a big Saturday up in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium for the Interstate 69 Bowl.
It should be 3 great games and 6 very good football teams up there. So, definitely a great day for high school football.
All right. Well, Coach, that's all the time we have for today's show. Good luck Saturday, and hopefully we'll have the opportunity to see you on the post-game show Saturday. And best of luck to the players. We would like to thank all of you for joining us here on 89.1 The Bash for Titans football with head coach Nick Hart. And be sure to catch us each week at 6 p.m. on Tuesday night for your look inside the Gibson Southern Titans football team. Before we sign off, though, we would like to thank all of the underwriters of Titans football with head coach Nick Hart on 89.1 The Bash.
This has been Titans football with head coach Nick Hart on 89.1 The Bash. The show is made possible by our underwriting sponsors: Ziliak Enterprises, Vertical Tile, Total Seed Solutions, Tin Barge Seed and Turfgrass Supplies, T-Conia Distributing, United Fidelity Bank, South Gibson Grain, Shoe Carnival, Sandy's Pizza, Rusty Reeves FC Tucker MD Realtors, Reinbrecht Homes, Princeton Auto Park, Pole Concrete Construction, MyTech Systems, Mayflower Gardens and Gifts, Marshall Disposal, Lowry Company, Lewis Plumbing and Heating, Kissel Farms, Kiesel Enterprises, JL Farm Equipment, Jackson Seed Service, in memory of Darwin and Eric Kalis, Hobstadt Summerfest Incorporated, Freudenberg Mini Mart, DuBois County Garage Doors Incorporated, Deaconess Women's Hospital, Daylight Farm Supply, Cox Family Eye Care, Consolidated Grain and Barge, Carts Gone Wild, Gerald and Trudy Bledsoe, Best One Tire, AgriGold, A&T Concrete Supply, A&B Contracting, and by Wabash Valley College. Join us next week for Titans football with head coach Nick Hart right here on 89.1 The Bash.